We're going to have a look today at the scientific method and the idea of fair testing. This is what we're going to use to set up all of our experiments. Step 1 of the scientific method is ask a question. In this case, which ball will bounce higher, the red one or the purple one? Now that we have a question asked, we need to make a guess. We call this a hypothesis. It's a prediction. Always make one before you begin. In this case, we're going to guess that the purple ball will bounce higher. So now that we've asked a question, we've made a hypothesis, taken a guess, we need to set up some procedures. The procedures tell us exactly what to do. These are step-by-step instructions. So, for example, it could be hold both balls at chest height, release both balls at the same time, record which ball bounces higher, repeat 3 times to get some good results. Remember, your procedure should be nice and clear so that anyone can follow these instructions. Now it is time to run our actual experiment, and we're going to collect some data, some observations. So when we released both our balls at the same time from the same height, we found that the red ball bounced higher. It's important to do this experiment a couple of times, just to make sure that you haven't made any mistakes. Always record what you see, not what you want to see. The last step is we need to make a conclusion. This is a summary of what we've seen happen. In this case, the red ball bounced higher. Our hypothesis was not supported. It doesn't mean we were wrong. It just means we found out something different. And we need to come up with a reason. I think the red ball bounced higher because it was harder than the purple ball. Maybe you have a different idea. The last thing to keep in mind when you're setting up an experiment is this idea of fair testing. A fair test is when we change one thing. We call that a variable, and everything else stays the same. This way we know what exactly is affecting our experiment. So in our case, the variable that was manipulated or changed was the balls. We had a red ball and a purple ball. The control variables, so this is everything else that was kept the same, were things like the height that they were dropped at, when they were dropped, how they were dropped, what sort of surface were they dropped at, who was making observations. All of these things come into play. Keep this in mind when you're designing your experiments.